So, welcome back to another exciting battle report. This time we're diving into an epic clash between the British and French forces in a 6mm Wavre inspired showdown. So brace yourself for an intense battle that will keep you on the edge of your seat. As the smoke clears and the sun begins to rise, the battlefield comes alive with thunderous sounds of cannon and the rattling of muskets. The British forces, led by General Charles Colville, stand firm against the advancing French troops commanded by General Jerome Bonaparte. So our initial deployment today sees the British having all of their forces deployed. There is a bridge in the village and a ford just down the other end, and their objective is to prevent the French from crossing. And both sides need to aim to get half of their force off the other side of the table, as in half of the British forces need to retreat and half of the French forces need to push across the river and then exit the table. So the British have to decide, because they have turns that they have to exit by, how long they're going to hold out before they start getting their troops off the table. If they wait too long, they'll lose the game, just because they won't get their troops off in time. And the French, they just need to keep pushing.
So turn 1 has seen the French, under Marshal Grouchy, advancing.
Scattered birds.
And they've taken artillery fire to the dragoons on the road, whilst the Allies have taken artillery fire to their artillery piece.
So turn 2 saw both sides just doing a little bit of repositioning. The French massing by the bridge, ready to do a push across with their dragoons, whilst the British just tried to ferry reinforcements in as quickly as they could.
So French dragoons charged down the road into the guns and got annihilated. But in return they've almost destroyed the artillery and reduced the Brunswick infantry to half strength. So a pretty bloody turn for both sides.
So for turn 3, me as the British player had to make a tough decision. Which unit was I going to choose to be my first to leave the field? I had my light dragoons stationed at the rear. They weren't engaged yet, so I decided I would send them off. Whilst at the same time the French were massing at the town and the ford, ready to make their big push over the next turn or two. It's going to be a painful one, that's for sure.
Okay, turn 4 saw close range artillery and musket fire destroy one of the regiments on that side. Jocks took a few shots at the artillery, and the 1st regiment of cavalry had to vacate the field. We've got to lose 1 on turn 4, 1 unit on turn 8 and 1 unit on turn 12, so they're the first ones to leave. But a pretty bloody turn for both sides, that's for sure. Turn 5 saw the artillery piece break and withdraw. Casualties inflicted on both sides are starting to seriously mount up, and on this side of the table it's just a Mexican standoff.
So on turn 6 again, I had that crucial decision: which unit was I going to pull off, and were they going to be able to exit the table in time? So I figured the Brunswickers had taken a pounding, so let's get them out of there.
Turn 6 saw more casualties mounting. The artillery turned onto the infantry and gave them double blasts. The French infantry over here crossed the ford and started exchanging musket fire. Brunswickers withdrew slightly further, and the artillery piece at the end did rally. So yeah, still everything to fight for.
Now turn 7 was a bit of a mixed bag. My skirmishers had managed to get some lucky rolls and made his light infantry run from the field, run back across the ford, but it was still pretty close. And my Brunswickers are running like smoke to try and get off the table, so I don't lose.
So turn 7 saw the Brunswickers making their way to exit the field, and in the musketry between these two, the French lost their commander and then broke. In the centre, the artillery switched fire onto the lancers, whilst my artillery targeted the hussars.
And then it was around this time I realised that actually my lancers were so far forwards that to turn them round and get them off the table, they actually started to move, or needing to move, this turn, around turn 8, so they were starting to leave too, so my numbers are dropping.
So turn 9 saw my artillery destroyed and his infantry destroyed. Artillery pieces routed, and the infantry have rallied and are starting to make their move. So could still be anyone's game, but it's getting very tight. So the last couple of turns have seen exchanges of gunfire. The light infantry have broken, whilst my troops moved across and have taken a few shots from the artillery. The Masurian infantry have moved up. Other than that, things are pretty well the same as they were before. Okay, in turn 14, the French hussars charged across the bridge, and in the swirling melee that followed, they destroyed the British, but were destroyed as an effective force themselves, leaving the British forces holding the field. But it was very close. Could have gone either way right till the last moment.
Overall, it was a very, very hard battle, that's for sure. And although sometimes when you look at the photos, it might look like one side has won decisively, the way that we tally up the casualties, at the end we always review what's left, and although I had more units on the field, they're only standing by a couple of points, so it is quite literally almost in every game we play a hairline finish. All it would have taken is one dice to go better for the other player and they would have been the winner often. It's very close, almost too close to call until that last second. So a really great game, really enjoyed this one. I will be doing the attacking next turn and see if I can make any change. And seeing as I found my 6mm Prussians now, next time we'll be able to do Wavre the proper way. Anyway, thanks for watching everyone, I hope you enjoyed it and I'll see you next time.